Hey guys, and welcome to another under 5 minute reviews. And today we're looking at the Metabarons. So I really like sci-fi stuff, and I do like sci-fi comics, but generally speaking I don't think there's too many of them about. Now when I was looking up, trying to find, sci-fi, like the Incal is the one thing that always comes up. But I've never really pulled the trigger because I don't know, like the premise of the story from other reviews and stuff never really attracted me. But the Metabarons, like, that one's always kind of pulled me towards it. So I decided to give this a shot, and I did not regret it. And neither will you. Now, it's basically this book. It takes place over the course of the Metabaron history, how they became Metabarons and their lineage, right? And it takes place prior to the Incal, story. So, without going into spoilers, would I recommend you giving a try for this? Yes. It's really well written. You get into the story, you get into the characters. I really like the art. Like, I really love the art. I think it's amazing. But yeah, if you're looking for something sci-fi, something just like, oh my god, that's so good, amazing, get this book. There's a bunch more stuff that follows on from it. I'll be doing those eventually once I get my hands on those books. That's the plan. But as of right now, if you want sci-fi saga, this is magnificent. Like, it really is, guys. Now, for a little bit more of a spoilery type review, the story is pretty simple. It basically just follows the history of the Metabarons, from the first Metabaron and how he got the title, so on and so forth. Now, the family interactions are like, it's just insane. Like, the stuff that happens in the book, it's hard to put my finger on exactly what makes this magnificent. I mean, just when you think, like, I'll give you an Steelhead, right? He was the third Metabaron, and when it's time for him to fight his son to take his place as the Metabaron, he isn't defeated, but he's put into stasis. And then later on, when he finally gets out, he basically ends up fighting his grandson, but he sacrifices himself. Like, at that point in the story, his son killed his wife, all sorts of crazy shit. He just wants vengeance. He's basically at the point where he's gone insane. But he goes from being this vengeful Metabaron that you almost hope doesn't get out, because he's coming for what he would assume at the time to be his grandson. But he just ends up being, like, so heroic, sacrificing his life to save the entire galaxy. And this story was my favorite in this, like, Steelhead story. When he has the prophet, like, as a head, ends up committing suicide. And it's tragic, because it's basically about a guy who's kind of like a machine, and he's not supposed to be able to feel love, but he still manages to do it, like, through his actions, his choices. Man, I really love this book, and I think if you like sci-fi, I think you'd love it too. I mean, just look at this stuff, the book isn't like a one-shot. It doesn't end. It doesn't end, if that makes more sense. Some even crazier shit happens right at the end. Oh, look at that art. So yeah, there are more of these that follow on. But I have to say, guys, get this. If you like sci-fi, seriously, you won't regret this. Once again, on the 5-minute review, if you found this of any use, sub and a like would be appreciated. Cheers.